for the camera, the lights, the action, and being able to go on. So I'm not sure why
Welcome, everyone, to Mastermind Seminars Live. We would like to welcome those who are in our location here today, as well as all those who are participating via video streaming at our satellite locations all around the world. We'll be introducing our event today and then turning it over to the very capable hands of some amazing presenters who have graciously given of their time and their amazing talents to share their insights into things which will change our lives as well as our businesses. The main question we want you to ask yourself is, why am I here? Is that a valid question to ask? Yeah. Why am I here? Maybe it's making money. Maybe it's saving more time. Maybe it's addressing my biggest challenge. Maybe it's working on my life vision. Whatever it is, we are here to help you do it. And the way it's going to happen is that you're going to get excited and you'll have the great temptation to do absolutely nothing about it because you are going to feel fantastic when you leave. You really will. I guarantee it. The way it's going to turn into money for you, and the question you have to ask yourself is, how can I turn what I learned today into money for me and my business? Well, it's going to be mind-numbing discipline in two key areas, in only two. One is intellectual, showing up or being on the live stream absolutely every single month, once a month, that's it, once a month, and then the implementation or the application is once a week. We have mastermind groups that meet on the phone in 30-minute segments that will absolutely change your life, or meet live with a coffee connection weekly, and you have to have at least two buddies, two partners from today who participate with you today where you hold one another accountable. You have to do it. You have to do both to make it happen, to achieve what you set out today to achieve. To ensure each participant has rock-solid follow-through, we have a system for that. Go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register, and we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. Does everyone have what we call the fourfold? The fourfold has 14 different panels which you will be able to visually see and take home with you. On panel 6, please write down your biggest challenge, and then as you work through today, write down any ideas you have for solutions. Do not leave here today without having very specific solutions you will commit to do over the next 30 days with at least two other buddies from today's event. So, the topic today, and we have 12 topics every single year, panel 5 on the fourfold, are the same topics each and every year. Your MC or host will share with you the specific topic for today. With each topic, each month, at this event, we have 7 segments. Segment 1 is speed networking, which will be done at each individual location. You'll share your name, your company, your organization, what you would like to accomplish today, your biggest challenge, and your elevator speech. Everyone will break up into groups of 4 individuals, and each person will have 3 minutes to share these 5 things with others in the group. Once everyone has shared, then you will form new groups and do the same thing again. You keep doing this until your MC or host shares it's time to do something else. Segment 2 will be wins and biggest challenges, which is panel 6 on the fourfold. And the MC or host for each location will take 10 minutes to have local groups share their wins from last month's event and or your biggest challenges. Segments 3, 4, and 5 are the 3 elements to the BOS, the Business Operating System, which is panel 7, 8, and 9 of the fourfold. The BOS, Business Operating System, is the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, we have the stress we do or do not have due to our BOS. And the first element to our BOS, our engine, is the DNA for people, or personality masteries. The second segment is DNA for business, and the third segment is DNA for life. Segment 3, panel 10 on the fourfold, The DNA for people is personality masteries. We can learn how to identify someone's personality in 15 seconds, and once we know someone's personality, we know their strengths, their weaknesses, what they like, don't like, why they will or won't work with us. We even know if they are married, probably the type of person they're married to, the strengths and weaknesses within their marriage. Yeah, pretty much amazing stuff. Imagine having a system that is so powerful that it will help you increase the leads your business receives, help you convert more leads faster, and obtain more referrals. In segment 4, panel 11 on the fourfold, the DNA for business, this is what we call the 530 grid. There are 5 areas in one's businesses. Area 1, marketing. How do we generate more and better leads? Area 2, pre-sales. How do we convert more leads to clients? Area 3, the sale. How do we convert leads faster? Area 4, servicing. How do we service our clients in the most amazing way where they refer everyone they know to us? And Area 5, client for life, where our clients become our partners and we start to work with all the spheres of influence they are connected with. In segment 5, panel 12 on the fourfold, the DNA for life. This is natural laws. Natural laws govern all that we do. In many ways, it's the hardest of the 3 DNAs to teach, to learn. There are over 500 natural laws which govern our business, our income, and really every area of life. One of those natural laws is the cluster principle. The cluster principle states that it's not unusual that someone making a buying or selling decision will know between 3 and 9 other people over the next 6 to 12 months who are making a similar buying decision as our prospect or client. Imagine what would happen with our business if we had every prospect referring us 2 or 3 or even more additional prospects. Yes, our businesses would double each and every year, and that's just one of the over 500 natural laws applied through our BOS, our engine. Again, BOS consists of DNA for people, DNA for business, and DNA for life. And it's the engine that runs our business, organization, and depending on how good it is, all the money we're going to earn, the time we're going to have, the stress and the life balance you're going to have or don't have. Segment 6 is Q&A, and that can be done either at your local level or it can be done through the video stream. That's up to your local MC or host because we're going to hit you with a lot of information today, and I hope you're ready, but this will give you a little opportunity to do decompressing. In segment 7, great things are going to happen next month, and we'll all come back together again as we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. So absolutely everything we do today will be focused on the topic for the month, which will be shared with you in just a minute. Are we clear? Do we understand what we will be accomplishing today, or at least a big picture perspective?
Kevin King. I'm going to be your MC for today. Wow, wasn't that an amazing video? There's a lot that's going on, and we want you to be informed. So if you haven't already, check with mastermind-seminars.org, mastermind-seminars.org, and click on the banner, the yellow banner in the upper right-hand corner that says Fourfold, and that will give you an idea of our flow today. So we have an amazing day today. We are into year 4, which doesn't seem possible, but it is, and it's amazing. So month 1, we discovered the value of installing systems, because if we have something we want to accomplish, if we have some goals, if we have a business, if we have dreams, then we have to have a system in place in order to make sure it works. The second month, we talked about generating more and better leads. Once you have a system, you need to have more and better leads to continue to run efficiently and fast. The third month is converting more prospects to clients, because even if you called the same people but got more improvement, you could move your close rate. For the average salesperson, it's 10%. Even if it were to 20%, you wouldn't have to call any more leads. You were just more efficient, closing 2 out of 10, closing more prospects and converting them to clients faster. This month, we're building on the last 3 months, and we are converting prospects faster. Once we have a great system involved and in place, we're generating more and better leads. We're converting more prospects to clients, and now we're going to learn how to convert prospects faster. Wouldn't you like to do it faster than slower? So even if you are closing 20%, it's taking you less time to do it. And what we're trying to do at Mastermind Seminars Live is help you create an environment and a system that allows you to close more leads, do it faster, do it better, with less time, less stress, better life balance, and you can have an amazing life. So we're just going to hop right into this. I'm excited for what we're going to do today, something brand new, something very different. Now, if you look at your fourfold, we have 7 segments, and the 7 segments are, the first one is networking before the event, which is we're going to be doing right now, and then the second segment is 10 minutes. We're going to be doing wins and biggest challenges, and then we get into the BOS, which we explain in the video, which is the business operating system. DNA for people, DNA for business, DNA for life. The 6th segment is question and answer, because if you feel like you have drunk out of a fire hose by the end of our time today, you're right. You probably have. And our 7th segment is to give you great things that are going to happen next month. We want you to invite everyone that you know. So we're going to jump right into the networking, the speed networking. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before, and I'm really excited to introduce my business friend and colleague here. His name is Mark Boersma, and he is the president of Synergy Solutions. What is Synergy Solutions? They are architects and engineers designing custom BOS, or business operating system, for everyone on the planet. So Mark, welcome, and take it away.
Thanks, Kevin, so much. I mean, I'm so excited. Thank you for inviting me. And have you ever been to some type of an event, a seminar, a workshop, or networking, or an association, and you went there with all these hopes to get business, and then you walked away, and maybe you got a bunch of business cards, but you didn't turn any of it into business? You know, I've experienced that myself. And years ago, I studied the people who were the best networkers that I knew, and then put it into an actual system. And so that's what we're going to share with you on speed networking. If you take this simple system and you plug it in to your own boss, your own business operating system, you're going to generate a lot more leads. You're going to more and better leads. You're going to convert more of those prospects into clients. You're going to convert them faster, and you're going to get more referrals. And it's really simple. It's almost, how do I say, it's almost too simple. Like you probably are, after I share like these secrets, you're probably going to be thinking, this is too simple. This won't work. Actually, it will. And there's an entire science. We won't be going into the full science today. Trust the integrity of the system. I've been blessed to be an international speaker and author, written 16 books, over 50 white papers. One of the books was with the Community Business Partnerships with Tom Kuntz, most recent past president of Century 21, largest real estate franchise in the world. He also helped raise over $100 million for Easter seals. And so this system, Tom said, was the fastest, the most effective, the simplest system he's ever seen. And it's really simple. You go to any event, and then you just, introduce yourself, get somebody's business card. You say as little as possible, and then you say, I'm just curious. And you got to get this like grin on your face. Like you're a little, like if you really want to study this, study a 3-year-old boy. Like they're innocent. Like they're just little curious monsters. Like they ask all questions. That you got to get a little smirk on your face. You got to have a little fun with it and say, I'm just curious, like what would you say the biggest challenge you might be facing in any area of your business or even life? And then you look at them and you just stop. Look right in their eyes and just stop and smile. And 99% of the time, people are going to smile back and they're going to say, that's an interesting question. And then they'll tell you. And you write it down on the back of the business card. And then depending on what their biggest challenge is, you may ask them, you may say, that's interesting. Tell me more. And they'll tell you more about their biggest challenge. Again, write it on the back of the business card. Then go and say, I might have some thoughts on that. Why don't I give you a call maybe tomorrow? And they'll be like, okay, that creates tremendous intrigue, tremendous curiosity on their part. They're going to meet a lot of people today, and none of them are going to ask that question. They're going to be interested about talking about things that have very little relevance, or they're going to be interested in selling themselves or talking about themselves. So something significant, something of insignificance, what you're looking at is setting yourself apart. They're going to be curious. You're the person that asked that question and then kind of walked away from me. And you want to get as many of those as you can. So can you get 5? Can you get 10? Can you get 20? What can you get in being able to get their biggest challenges? Now, the science behind it working is somebody's biggest challenge is their area of pain. It's something that if we can come back, and we'll learn in future events, not today, but we'll learn in future events of how to build a conceptual bridge between our biggest challenge, somebody's biggest challenge in our product or service, or partnering or working together. There's actually a white paper out there on biggest challenge to income. When we learn how to take other people's biggest challenges, their pain, their problems, the things that they're struggling with, and build a conceptual bridge between their challenge, their pain, and our solution, or working or partnering with us, that creates success. Now, we have some examples of that we're going to dive into, but I just want to make sure that we're clear before we move on. Kevin, I mean, is that clear questions? I mean, it's any thoughts that you have that will help people in being able to follow through with this? Kevin, are you muted? Kevin? Does anyone have any questions or thoughts? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Mark, I can hear you.
We have one individual that can hear me.
I think a lot of people will go to these networking events and they spend all their time and get absolutely nothing out of it.
Why do you think that is, Ed?
They're not purposeful in what they're doing.
Yeah. See, Ed, he and I have gone to events, and if you have 2 people going to an event, it's really cool. You know, Ed starts in the, upper left-hand corner of the room. I start in the lower left-hand corner, and we work in the middle. If you have 4 individuals, you can each start at a corner and work in the middle. And so if Ed gets 10 people, I get 10 people, then I can share my 10 people with Ed, and he can share his 10. I've just doubled my effectiveness. If you get 4 people in the room, you can work a room in a way that you've never even dreamed possible. Now, Ed and I kind of cheat in that we contract with executive virtual assistants. And if you don't have an executive virtual assistant or multiple, right now I think we're contracting with 11 or 12 of them. They're amazing. They make me look great. What I actually do is take a photo of the business card and then text that along with the individual's biggest challenge over to my EVAs. They then put it in a database, and then they follow up, and they can schedule what's called a 30-minute strategy session. So it's literally an assembly line of being able to go through. And so Ed's like a rainmaker. He knows everybody connects, really fun guy. Me, not so much. But I've learned by doing this technique, I'm an introvert. Ed's an extrovert. He's met, everybody he meets is a friend. Me, I love people. I just don't like to be around them so much. And so, but this technique works for both sides, because it gives me something that the introvert says, okay, I need to meet people, get their business card, and then I need to ask them their biggest challenge. Even I can do something like that. It works for somebody like Ed, because Ed's challenges in speed networking is different than mine. My challenge is I'll sit in the room and not talk to anybody. Ed's challenge is he'll talk to everybody, and he doesn't have the bandwidth to follow up on all those opportunities unless he's got EVAs. Ed, any other suggestions that you would go ahead and give?
When you go to an event, you got to be purposeful. You got to come up with a plan before you go. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? I mean, is this clear to people or not so much?
I think it's clear. I think one of the things that I remember when I call on people that have met Ed or have met Amy, they know them, and I think it's because of their frequency and how they talk to the people. They somehow set something in the person's mind that says, "Oh yeah, I remember Amy. Oh, I remember Ed." And so I think the frequency is definitely an important part of getting people to remember you too.
Nice. Absolutely. Anyone else have any other thoughts, ideas, suggestions? This is the thing that's crazy to me. Like how this took me over a decade to figure out and simplify and get it down. You can't get much more simple than this. Get a business card, ask them their biggest challenge, ask them if you want, tell me a little bit more about that, and then move on and do the next one. But I continue to be amazed as to how difficult it is, and people won't do this. Does anyone have any ideas why people won't follow through on something so simple, so easy?
They don't trust the system.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
They don't trust the system that you've already tested it and that does work.
Okay. How would somebody overcome that?
To try it, see if it works.
Yeah, cool. Kevin.
Yeah. So we find that in my life and in most people's life, I think 99% of the people are just sloppy, lazy, and undisciplined. They want what they want, but they just don't want to work for it. So by actually putting in the effort, you can find, if you've got the right system, which this is, that you can actually have a huge success.
Nice. I've got a list of probably over 30 people that I've listed out that I've done this with. Others in our network have done it, and now it's creating momentum. And so I can go through those, Kevin, or does anyone have any other questions or thoughts on what we've covered on the speed networking? Will you all do this? Does it connect? Like, write down right now, my WOW income goal is, and list that out. My minimum income goal is this, list that out. This is how many hours I'm currently working, and list that out. And then this is how many hours I want to work. Then list out what's my biggest challenge. Nancy in Tanglewood Conservatories. It's what's called the Success Circle of 12. And we're actually going to go through that Success Circle of 12 right now. And we're going to just do some speed networking here and actually sharing some of these things. And so let's start off with...
This conference has been reconnected.
Let's start off with Patrick. What did you learn as the leader of the Success Circle of 12? What would you like, how did it help you, how to help the group, and what would you like to accomplish?
Yeah, Mark. So what I learned this week was to get the maximum buy-in from others, you really need to help them connect their passions, with whatever the vision may be. How does that help me and how does it help the group? I think if I or we can help others define those connections, it will benefit, any goal that a group is trying to reach. As far as what I'm looking to accomplish today, really, I'd like to just be able to learn and quickly apply the things that I'm taking away from this Mastermind seminar today.
Nice. Excellent. All right, Cheryl, Director of Communications.
Hi. What I'm trying to learn is to think differently when it comes to talking to a driver. This is my biggest challenge lately. I have to write copy for recruiting scripts to fill my database, and I need to write in the order of driver, expressive, analytical, and amiable. I will have to start off it correctly, so that's a challenge. This will help the team by being able to have a good database when an open position occurs. By practicing this, it will help me think differently quicker. What I'd like to accomplish today with the DNA for People is to do it at a higher dimension in my presentation, and to hope I don't stretch it too much, but instead make others curious to learn, what the basics of the personalities.
Nice. All right, and someone on behalf of Nancy for DNA for People.
Nancy wanted to say that this week she learned that in order to connect with people, she must listen to them with the intention and interest to learn and understand and be aware of tones, motions, and words. It benefited her that after a meeting with a prospect and practicing good listening skills, they were ready to write us a check. I felt a connection, which I think was mutual. They kept saying how beautiful our work was and how they were surprised and happy to know that artisans still exist in this country. How will it benefit the team? As the team practices deep listening, the team as a whole and as individuals will connect with people on a deeper level. It will bring business, referrals, people will be waiting in line to buy Tanglewood and work for Tanglewood. What she wants to accomplish today is how to communicate this understanding to the team so that they can be open to receive.
Nice. All right, Nicole, DNA for Business.
All right, so what I learned this week is that I can use the pressure point analysis in multiple different ways outside of sales. How it helps me is it's actually furthering my journey to help me see the big picture, and I'm starting to look at things differently. How it helps the team is that I can offer a different perspective to the team to sort of help bring those that aren't seeing the big picture up with me. And what I would like to accomplish today is how can I use this new discovery to help convert prospects faster.
Nice, nice. Jason, DNA for Life.
So on behalf of Jason, he was learning about stewardship, so time, talent, treasure, trust, and truth. And he was able to use this by asking people in our company, in our group, to find out about other people's roles. And what they actually do that maybe other people didn't know that they did, how this benefits the group. I know that Jim Johnson found out what we did in the sales role and found out about Bromball this week. And what he would like to ask is what other ways can stewardship help in a company to make them more prosperous in blending their departments?
Nice. Brandon, Area 1 Marketing.
I learned that I need to push myself to higher limits to learn more about the 530 grid. How this will help me, it would help me with making my own 530 grid for the Tanglewood shop itself. And it would also help the company understand more about the 530 grid and how it deals with everybody in the shop.
Nice, nice. Carly, Area 2 Pre-Sales.
What I learned this week is time blocking is not as easy as it seems, at least for me. And I've also learned is how time blocking for you can create interruptions for others and vice versa. How did this benefit the team? It made me aware of what I allow to happen in my daily routine and how I allow others to affect my production. What I can learn, or what I would like to learn, is how to balance the two, how to mesh the two time blocking systems, mine and others, to help everybody achieve their goals.
Nice. Alan, Area 3, the sale.
Okay, what Alan learned from his role this week is He realized that most people cannot function in an environment where there is no clear structure or authority. Therefore, if he wants to build a culture of self-responsibility, he needs to do it gradually while still providing a tangible umbrella of direction. How it benefited him, it will help him become a better leader. How this will benefit the team, he will be a better leader. And what did he want to accomplish was how to push more things forward faster.
Nice. And role 9, servicing.
That would be me. What I focused on today was how to use better references and referrals. How this helps me is that I can have my warm referrals, my cold calling, and how they work better. How it'll help others is by teaching the team and the salespeople to get referrals on every visit they go to. That makes the calling process much more smooth than a cold call. And what I would like to have us work on in the future is increasing our number of referrals so that there are less cold calls and more warm referral calls.
Nice. And then Jim, area 5, client for life.
So on behalf of Jim, this week he learned, for Client for Life, he learned the importance of taking action. How it helped him is that, he's starting to look at things a little differently, and he can understand, yes, the details are important, but he can take a step back and say, you just got to do it in order to make that client happy. How it helps the team, same way, if he can see that, he can help us see that bridge and sort of push us when we need to be pushed. And what he would like to accomplish today is how can he sort of spread this knowledge really with those team members that aren't seeing the taking action.
Wow. Kevin, that was pretty amazing, huh?
That was absolutely spectacular. Congratulations to everyone doing that. You see how simple that is? It does not take a lot. It just means that you have to take a specific focus with a specific intent and execute. Executing is so important. Thank you so much, Mark. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir. You can roll it with the wins and biggest challenges.
Absolutely. So we're into our next segment now, which is wins and biggest challenges. So I'd like to open it up. Does anyone have any wins or biggest challenges? Nicole, I know we talked before. Do you have a win or biggest challenge you wanted to share? Could you share that now?
Absolutely. So my win, I guess I'll start with my challenge because it rolls into my win. But one of my biggest challenges is continuously seeing the big picture. My analytic, I'm a very strong analytic, so it always just takes over, and I use it right up front. But my win was actually I'm beginning to start seeing and thinking big picture. I'll stop myself before I start, and I'll be like, wait a minute, there's a different way to think about it. So I'm really building that self-awareness, and that's my win this week, actually this month.
Excellent. Excellent. Jennifer?
So again, mine would go from challenge to win. So my challenge is how do I determine the weight of conflicting suggestions when I want to get the most benefit out of them? And so my win was that I had meetings and I changed my way of thinking when I did my presentations to people, and they gave me suggestions how to improve my presentations. So I have a list now of a lot of great suggestions.
Excellent. What was the one thing that you could share with the group that really helped you change your presentation?
Knowing that I should let people ask more questions than me give information. I came into the presentation saying, I've got all this stuff I have to tell them, and they came back to me with a suggestion of, don't tell us all that. Let us ask you what we need to know. And that gave a conversation in the presentation that worked out better.
And how did it work out better? I'm curious.
I was giving information that they may have already known instead of giving them the information that they didn't, because the products that I'm giving it's a known product. So they know bits and pieces, whereas I was giving them the stuff and, for lack of a better term, wasting their time when they could ask me questions of things they really needed to know.
So that's a very intriguing thing. I think that's a takeaway everyone can take. Ask questions, ask better questions. In fact, I want you to keep that in mind as we go into not the next segment, but the segment after that, which is the 530 grid. Box 4 is ask questions. And it's not just ask any questions, it's ask informed, excellent questions. So, Jennifer, thank you so much. That was outstanding. I really appreciate you sharing.
No problem.
Cheryl? Yeah, Cheryl, I understand you had something, Winter Biggest Challenge you wanted to share. Go ahead.
I actually have both. My win was learning and admitting that I didn't know how to do a driving force. So Mark gave me homework, and I wrote out I will always start with a driving force 100 times. So that got it into my head, and I got it up on my wall. This will help me by using it as a system to always start with a driving force. So I've got that in place now. My challenge is that here at Tanglewood, we've got 6 open positions. And I would love if anybody out there had any kind of referrals to send them to Tanglewood.
So what kind of positions are you looking to fill? That's intriguing.
Actually, we have sales positions, we have engineering positions, and we're looking for installers and subcontractors to go out and put up our beautiful glass architecture.
Wow. If you haven't gone to the website yet, go to it. It's called TanglewoodConservatories.com. It's going to be a mind-blowing experience. If there's anyone out there that, it's a great opportunity to join a team that is absolutely outstanding. Most of the people you've heard from today are from Tanglewood Conservatories. And that team is building world-class conservatories and also building a world-class team. If you want to be part of something really special, that's what you need to be taking care of. I take care of it today. Get a hold of Cheryl, and we will, just go ahead and text 30386-5306. It's on your screen. Again, 630-386-5306, and we will get the information to Cheryl and get you guys in contact. That's outstanding, Cheryl. Really appreciate it. Great opportunity.
Thanks for the great club.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Carly, do you have something you'd like to share with us today?
I do. I had a situation present itself this week, and
okay.
I'm a little confused on it. So what I'd like to know is, or my challenge is, when do I continue to drive profit, and when do I drive keeping clients for life? How do I recognize the difference between the two, and how to balance that?
That's interesting. It's an interesting question. Can you back up and give us the challenge that kind of spurred that question on?
It was a service job that I was handling, and my focus was just the bottom line. And then, it was a past client, so I didn't take a step back and look at the relationship with the client. I had one, I think, outweighed the other, and it didn't work out as well as I thought it would be, as well as I thought. So, when do I, if it pushes back from your client for life or from the client, when do I recognize that I need to take a step back and approach it differently?
That's a great question. I guess the question would be, why can't you have both?
Well, that's
why can't you have the client? Go ahead.
I agree, and that's how do I why didn't I recognize that, and how do I balance the two to have them both?
That's a good question. So the thing that people at their very core, they want to be loved, they want to know that they're important, and they want to know that you really care. And if you show them that you really care, and you really do care, and you take the time to ask some questions and really find out what their biggest challenges, and that's why that's a great question to ask, especially at that. Hey, I'm just kind of curious. What's the biggest challenge you're currently facing in any area of your business? And just be quiet and listen. Gives them an opportunity to not only talk to you and share with you, kind of like what Jennifer had shared. She's asking questions and letting people respond to you. But then they can give you, not only building into the relationship with that client for life, but they will give you gold. They will give you the information you need to help them. And when you do that, do you think that they would want to do more business with you?
Of course.
And then at that point, if they're doing more business with you, is there a profit center built into the business you're doing?
Yes.
Good. So people matter, and that's what's important about any client for life relationship. So awesome, Carly. That's absolutely fantastic. Did that help or not so much?
It did. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we have just a little bit of time left. Mark, is there maybe one or two things you could share? I know you got a lot, but maybe just one or two things you could share on a winner biggest challenge category.
Well, and the wins is just amazing, Kevin, on the Success Circle of 12 and the Legacy Partner Network and how many opportunities that's helping. You know, on topic 12, achieving our life vision, my life vision is to touch every single person in the world, one person at a time, make a huge difference in every area of their life in a really fun and exciting way. And so we're connecting through all the different networks and working on a project to bring peace to the Middle East through a deep understanding of the ripple principle or the atomic bomb, and you know, how do you create a chain reaction? So we know that it can be done scientifically through the elements, but what about creating that type of way, same type of thing, and thinking differently? How do we create that ripple effect? We're also working with Tom Sear and Patrick on an unbelievable project over in the Gambia, West Africa, to create economic freedom and through entrepreneurialism through so many individuals there. We've also got some great things going on with Amy XIE in China, and a number of projects that are going on there. Alan and his team of 3 young kids under the age of 5 in how to be the best student in the world in everything. And that book project is continuing to expand, as well as Rosanna in Business Sense from a everyday housewife. All of these different things we've got with Fitz in Louisiana. There's an event in August that's going to be the value of installing systems and kicking off Coffee Connections there. So there's really, Kevin, Coffee Connection legacy partners all around the world. It's starting to catch hold, and it's starting to create a ripple effect. And so it's amazing being part of the network, Kevin.
Wow, that's fantastic, Mark. I really appreciate you sharing that. And thank you for Nicole and Jennifer and Cheryl and Carly for sharing as well. Our topic today, of course, is converting more prospects faster. And do you see how the systems that are in place and the opportunities that are in place can help you convert prospects faster and maybe even help you achieve your life dreams faster? And that's absolutely vital that we understand that this system can do all those things and more. And you don't have to do all the work. In fact, by being part of this network, you're going to be able to get involved with other things that you had no idea with that aren't going to take a lot more of your time, but are going to give you time back. So thank you for everybody that has shared. So that's our wins and biggest challenges. Man, I don't know about you, but there's just so much that has happened already. I would challenge you to go back and actually watch this again at each segment. Every one of these segments is going to be videoed, and every one of these segments is going to have audio, and you're going to be able to share this with somebody who was not on here before that you need to invite for next month, and this will absolutely, absolutely change their lives. So the next segment that we're going to get into is what we call the BOS, and the BOS is the Business Operating System. So the business we have, the time we have, the stress we do or do not have, and the life balance we do or do not have, the hours we do or do not have, is based on the kind of BOS system that we have in place. We all have it. And what we're going to do today is share with you how the BOS system that's Mastermind Solutions and Synergy Solutions can absolutely rock your world, absolutely change everything, a paradigm shift, a major difference. So the next 3 segments are called the BOS. And those 3 segments are Personality Masteries, the 530 Grid, and Natural Laws. Now, we call them DNA for People, DNA for Business, and DNA for Life. So I'm going to introduce the next person that's going to come in to the whole segment. But before we do that, I think, Mark, you had some things that you wanted to share before we get into the BOS.
No, I think we're good.
Excellent. Beautiful. Then what we're going to do now is that I'm going to introduce Cheryl Negoff, and she's with Tanglewood Conservatory. She shared earlier that there's 6 openings over there, and I really want you to listen to who you're talking to. In fact, the people that are watching right now might be future employees, so I want you to pay specific attention if you're interested, especially to listen to Cheryl on the DNA for people and how that's going to help you convert prospects faster. Cheryl, go ahead.
Thank you, Kevin. Last month, I talked to you about not being the teacher in the room when it came to like the Charlie Brown doing the wah, 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 when it came to converting more prospects to clients. I challenged each of you to ask your clients 2 questions. The first being to rank in order from 1 to 4, a cube, a pyramid, a wavy line, and a ball, which one you liked best. The second question I wanted you to go out and ask them was put in order of what causes them the most frustration. Things being out of order, things being out of control, things being boring and not fun, and having conflict with others. And I'm curious, did anybody do that? I know we're not in a room, but raise your hand, see if you actually did that. Anybody? I'm going to take a guess to say that some of you raised your hands, but there's some that didn't. And I'm curious as to what's holding you back. My guess is that you think it won't work, or that you may think that, they may think that you're off your rocker. But guess what? It's been done for 30 years, and it's only not worked 2 times. So that's a really slight percentage of, it not working. So let me give you another way that if you didn't want to ask the questions, that might work, with a little bit of practice, but asking the questions will give you the better answer as to what kind of personality you're actually speaking with. You couldn't take, this is if you didn't take the Personality Masteries course, but I really suggest that you do that to really get an in-depth, feel for the personalities. So what I'd like you to do is first notch up your listening skills. Are you ready? Let's pretend you say hello and to someone, and you get this response back. I'm going to do 4 different responses. So the first one, there's a slight pause. Hello, can you give me a detailed list of what we're going to speak about today? Second response. Hello, I don't have much time, but what would you like to accomplish today? Third response. Hello, how are you? I'm really looking forward to having an exciting talk with you today. And the fourth one, slight pause. Hello, I'm hoping you are doing well. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Did they sound different to you, or did they sound the same? To me, they sounded differently, so let me explain. The first statement with a slight pause that says, hello, can you give me a detailed list? This would be an analytical, or if they selected the cube. They paused when they first start talking to you, which says they're less aggressive. They are task-oriented because they wanted a list of what was going to be covered. They want that list to be detailed so that they can dot their I's and cross their T's. The second statement, hello, I don't have much time. What would you like to accomplish today? That would be the driver, and they're a little bit more aggressive. The driver is the pyramid. They answered right away, which demonstrates, that they want to get things done, fast. And they wanted to get things done. To me, the word accomplish also states that they're task-oriented. The third statement that said, hello, how are you? I'm really looking forward to having an exciting talk with you. This would be the expressive or the wavy line. This personality also didn't waste time, which in saying hello right back like the driver. So they're a little bit more, a little bit aggressive. They asked how you were doing, which shows they think about people. They use the word exciting, which means they want to have fun. The last statement, where there's a pause and they say, hello, I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. This would be the amiable or the ball. Did you notice they paused just like the analytical? They both share that trait of being less aggressive. They ask about you, and just like the expressive, which shows that they care about people. How about letting you lead the conversation? Why? Because they want to please you. They don't like conflict. So let me do a real quick recap. A more aggressive, faster response hello is a driver expressive. A less aggressive pause before speaking is analytical or amiable. And you need to listen. Do they talk about tasks? That means they're analytical or driver. If they talk more about people, then they're amiable and expressive. Maybe you're wondering, what does it matter what personality a person is? How is that going to help me help them to win them over? Well, if you want to learn how to convert prospects faster, I suggest you open up to listening differently. How many of you want to convert prospects faster? Me? Hopefully every one of you raised your hands. How do you do it? You ask them their biggest challenge to start working on their heart or the core of who they are. Find out what causes your prospects pain with their challenge, and that is your opening to maybe start their healing. If you can show them a way to move through their pain, you gain a deeper connection with them and show them you understand their needs. Let me demonstrate how this conversation might work with the biggest challenge of, I have a hard time making calls to people I don't know. Your advice could be for the analytical. Why not make a list of the bullet points you want to cover and check them off as you go? The 530 grid would be a great structure for you to follow. The analytical's pain is things being out of order. So if you make them see black and white and get them organized, it won't be so hard for them. For the driver, you want to make the sale, right? You have all the facts. You know what you want to accomplish, go get it. The driver's pain is being out of control. Let them know they are in control of the situation. For the expressive, pretend you're going to a party and think about each topic as if it was fun as a water balloon fight, but keep track of who is winning. The expressive pain is not having fun. Get them create a party in their mind to get excited, but also mention keep track of who is winning so that that helps them, with their follow-through, because this is one of their weaknesses. For the amiable, think about talking to them like you would your best friend. Put their picture in your mind and just have a conversation with them as if you were talking to your friend. The amiable's pain is conflict with others. Help them paint a picture that they would be happy with. Some of these examples may be stretching a bit, so when I'm done, I would love to hear your examples of how to help different personalities answer the biggest challenge question of making calls to those they don't know. Let's help each other. In conclusion, if you ask your prospect what is their biggest challenge, what is causing their pain, help them solve it by talking with them in a language of their personality. Win their heart. Dance with them. If you don't know how to help them, let them know that you would like to let a Fred Astaire or Ginger Rogers cut in to help them. They will see your heart too and hopefully refer others to get the same treatment. So understanding your prospect's personality will help you convert them faster. Guaranteed.
Cheryl, that was outstanding. I really appreciate that. We have about a minute left. Is there any questions for Cheryl on what she covered? If you're talking, you're on mute.
Cheryl, what is your personality?
I'm a chameleon between expressive, amiable, and analytical.
So that makes it easier for you to talk to those three people. And what do you do about the one that you're not able to speak to? What is your approach?
I have trouble speaking out to people in general, so my amiable is very strong. And I fake it till I make it for the most part. That's I'm still trying to learn how to talk to the different personalities. So teaching in these seminars is helping me a lot. So I'm still doing a lot of faking, and hopefully I'm making it.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, thank you, Cheryl. I really appreciate what you shared today. Thank you, Rosanna, for your question. So that's the first segment that we got to. It's going to continue to build on this. It's already amazing. The second segment is going to be called the 530 Grid, and that is the DNA for business. The DNA for business. And again, our topic today is converting prospects faster. So we're going to see that once we have this idea of who we're talking to by asking the questions and finding out the personalities, is that now we got to know what to do with them once we've got that done. Now, Rosanna Boersma is in charge of Awesome Women's Group, and she has this call that's on Tuesdays. And what time is that again, Rosanna?
Actually, it's on Mondays, and it's at 11:30 Central Time, a.m.
Mondays, 11:30 Central Time. And anybody can hop on there?
Anyone, yes. In fact, we've
Excellent.
even had some men that have jumped on it just to check it out.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, Rosanna, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for preparing what you've got today. We can't wait to hear it. So without any further ado, Rosanna, go ahead and take it away with DNA for Business.
Okay, so last month we talked about converting the prospects to clients. And if you missed that session, you can still gain benefit from it by listening to the rebroadcast. Now, we need to step up our game. So getting these prospects to say yes faster, or so we say, convert prospects faster. Now, what does that look like? What do you want it to look like? Well, one, you need to know your prospect. You need to do this, you need to ask the key questions. And what are those key questions that we ask? With all the things going on in your life, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you are facing in any area of your life? You know, the biggest challenge in people's lives is equal to their pain. And if you can get to that, you can understand your prospect a whole lot better, which helps you to go ahead and get to what they need faster. You need to tighten things up when you're talking to people. Don't get sidetracked. Stick to the subject at hand. You know, just another question that you might ask is, what would you love help on? What do you think you would like to change about yourself? These are questions that get to know the person a little bit better. And as Cheryl suggested in the last segment, you know, you got to know their personality. You got to know what they're thinking and how they're thinking. Do they want to get through this call or this segment that they're talking to you? Do they want to get it through it faster? Or do they want to really know what they're doing? Or do they want to go ahead and know all the details? Or, you know what, they don't have a lot of time. Let's just get through it. So you need to know their personality. You need to figure that out in a faster way. So there's quick questions to ask, as Cheryl has noted, or even just their demeanor and how they're talking to you. It's always very important to know that when you are communicating with a prospect that's going to possibly be a client, which you're in your thought process. When you do that, you want to say they're going to be a client, even, you know, if that doesn't happen. You just have to think that. How do you know that you're converting these prospects faster? How do you know that? What is it that you do? And that is where you track 100% of your leads. If you are even looking at the 530 grid that's on the screen, you'll note that one of the boxes is tracking 100% of your leads. And that is, you know, is it a spreadsheet? Is it a custom customer relationship management system, as they see the CRM system? You track the leads that are coming in. You track what they do. You track how fast it takes them to say yes or to say no or to say maybe. And how do you turn that maybe faster into a yes? So you need to shorten the sales cycle. You need to ask questions. And, you know, if it's possible, tell them a story about, you know, someone that actually made a decision faster. Because they made the decision faster, they saved money. And so you want to make sure that you're ready with a story of some sort that makes them think. You want to also mention their biggest challenge again and again to push them towards making a decision. If they're seeing their biggest challenge, like one of them is that they're putting things off. They're procrastinating. Okay, I see you're procrastinating. I see you're doing what you're challenged with. How about if we help you work on that to get it faster and to push them towards making a decision? You know, you maybe have them watch a short video. It's representing the product that you're talking about. And that video can be as quick as a minute. You know, you need to know you need to know what you're selling. You need to know your product very well, and that make sure that you're ready with an answer. And if you don't know the answer, that you go ahead and say, you know, give me a chance to think about that, and I'll get back with you, so that you're not just filling out stuff that might not make sense to them. Be curious about your prospects. Always be attentive to them. Their needs, their pain, there's the biggest challenge again. What they will help on. Make sure you have their frequency, their personality in mind, and as Cheryl talked about, talking about them. Teach, start with a small sale. When maybe, it's just a small thing, like maybe suggesting that they check out the videos that you have or get on a conference call that you are running and get them involved if they're just kind of on the fence about what they want to do. When you're dealing with all the things that you have to deal with in the business, you want to make sure that you have the three things and thought processes through. You want to know the personality. You want to know your business. You want them to feel like you know their business and your business also. You have your system set up so that you're always ready to put their name somewhere, to go ahead and make sure that you don't lose them when you call them and they say, oh, call me back in a couple of weeks. I'm kind of busy. And if you can't get them to turn over, do make sure you call them back in a couple of weeks. Don't, just put it down and say, oh, they're never going to, go, so let's just put them on the side. Always make sure you're tracking that. Make sure you put them exactly where you said you're going to call them in a couple of weeks. Make a note of that so that you're always tracking what you're doing. These types of things are very important when you're making the sale and when you're connecting with clients and prospects. Always have a system ready for these people. When you have people call, you want to make sure that you write their name, their phone number, their email address, and always check and verify what they say. If they write it down, make sure that you verify it, because one number off can help. You can lose the sale, and then it's gone, and you may never be able to connect with them again because you don't have the right information. So always make sure you have the exact information. Business card's awesome. You can have them write it down, verify it, but always make sure you have something there. In a business, you want to know the personalities, the DNA for people, and you want to know your business, the DNA for business. You want to know the 530 grid. If you can see it on the screen and you want more information about that, please feel free to ask about that, because that is it works so well for any company, any business, any connections of any sort, nonprofit or profit. And we have another segment that's coming up, the DNA for Life. All those things work together, and I think it's kind of like a symphony. All the instruments, they work together to make beautiful music. And if you have all three of them in hand, you are going to go ahead and convert those prospects faster. And that is what I have to say. Any questions?
That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Roseanne. I really appreciate you doing that. And thank you so much for tying that into converting prospects faster. What do you think is the single greatest thing? Well, let me do this. Is there anybody that has a question for Rosanna? We have time for one or two questions.
So it sounds like, Rosanna, that you have to be really intentional with creating a system.
That would be true. Yes, you always should have something. I mean, you may not have it right with you when you're out talking to somebody, so you always should have something to write something down. Always make sure that you're really intentional when you're talking to people to get their biggest challenge, because that is your open door.
Oh, so I have a question.
So go ahead.
So especially for the analytic personality, I would say from your presentation, one of the big things is putting in the work to make sure your system is in place. So that's great for the analytic, but to make sure, sitting down and looking at those details and making sure that it gets done, it may not seem like a priority to the other personalities. So what advice would you give for that, to make sure that it gets done?
One, I would suggest that they find somebody with them that is analytical or somebody that is very precise in what they do. That would be one option. The other one would be to make sure that at least you have some sort of way to connect to the people, definitely a phone number, an email. Even if you're not analytical, you want to know that information, so it's very important. Write it down if you have to, and then later you can put it wherever you have to do it in your system, but always make sure that you have that direct connection and you're ready for connecting with the person.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, Rosanna, really appreciate you doing that. So we've had the DNA for people, we've had the DNA for business, and now we're going to have the DNA for life, as Rosanna mentioned. And the person that's going to be doing the DNA for life, or the natural laws, is Patrick. Patrick is with Tanglewood Conservatories. Tell us just a quick bit about what you do there and why you do it.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So I'm the director of manufacturing here, and my primary role is to oversee both the production of conservatories and the engineering behind them, as well as the installations.
Okay. So tell us what you have for us today with the DNA for Life and how that can help us convert prospects faster.
Sure. So, the first question is, what is the DNA for Life? And, the DNA for Life is made up, there's so far about 500 plus natural laws that we've discovered. And basically, they're truths. So, for example, the law of gravity. If you jump out of an airplane, you're going to fall to your death. But if you have a parachute, that the natural law of the parachute can overcome gravity. So the natural laws do actually work together as well, and they intermingle. So it's really critical in order to know these natural laws and be able to use them to your advantage. And so I was thinking about the question, how do you use natural laws to convert prospects faster? And when I was thinking about that question, I said, well, if there was just one natural law that I could use or could talk about today that you could use, right after this seminar is over, what would that be? And what I came up with was I would think that the 3 steps to anything is probably one of the best. And what I thought was so great was what Rosanna, she actually got into it a little bit when she was talking about asking great questions, because the 3 steps to anything is first doing an examination. Just like a doctor, you're not going to give a prescription or, present a solution to someone without doing a good examination. Second is going to be your solution, and third is when you're going to implement it. So in the examination phase, asking key questions is critical, and that's Rosanna was talking quite a bit about it, and it also ties back into what Cheryl was talking about with personalities, because it's one of the great questions you can ask is the questions that determine what that person's personality is. If you can understand them at a very, very deep level, then you're going to be able to figure out a better solution for them. You need to think about, what other great questions you're currently not asking your prospects, and what it is that if you were to ask them, that you would gain more insight into who they are and more about what they really need. You don't want to present solutions that they don't need, and you may have found yourself where a lot of times people will jump into the solution or even the implementation phase before they've done a good examination. And a lot of times, not only does that make your converting them slower, but sometimes you end up losing the sale completely. So doing an examination, I think, is a critical step. Now, of course, the solution, and you may want to offer multiple solutions based on what you've learned from your examination. That's certainly very important. And then you get into your implementation, and you want to make sure that what you're implementing, you execute it very, very well, so that you can generate, clients for life, generate referrals, and that's going to come in, through your implementation after you've done a great examination. So if I had to go back and say, what's one natural law you could use, start using it right after this seminar is over, is, use the 3 steps to anything. Not only will it help you convert your prospects faster, but it can work in a lot of different areas of your life. So I'd recommend everyone out there take a look at the natural laws. You might even, if you start thinking about it, discover a few of them yourself, and use these natural laws to your advantage. They're out there. They're just simple truths that if you know what they are, you're going to have a big advantage over your competition, and you're going to be more successful. So with that, Kevin, I will turn it back over to you.
Wow, thanks, Patrick. I appreciate that. We got a couple of minutes here. Does anyone have a question for Patrick and how the natural laws can help you convert more prospects faster?
So how about never quit?
That's a
I
good
think
question.
that would work. So you got to keep going.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Cheryl. One of the natural laws about never quitting is, you could get to the point, I think, where sometimes you might get frustrated. Maybe you're in the process of, trying to convert a prospect and you're running into roadblocks or you're hitting objections. And so never quitting, continuing to move that forward, drive that forward, that's going to help you get those prospects converted faster, I would agree.
And Patrick, what makes people frustrated, and what can you do to help them get through that?
Well, my understanding, at least for me, frustration is generally caused by, how much you care, your level of expectation of yourself and your level of expectation of others. And my suggestion would be is that you raise all of those things up higher and become even more frustrated. Because you'll find, I think, at least I have, that if you raise that up, you'll start to make breakthroughs. You'll start to maybe jump to a new dimension or get through those issues faster, where if you just kind of let those things simmer or settle or go back down, or you lower your expectations, try to lower your frustration level, you're not going to get through those and be able to solve those problems. Does that help answer your question, Jennifer?
Perfect.
Good. We have time for maybe one more question. Does anyone have another question for Patrick and the natural laws?
If there's 500 plus natural laws, how do you know which one to apply?
That's a good question, Mark. I'd say it really depends on the situation. I think the first step for me would be you have to know them very well, because if you don't know them, then how are you going to know what natural law to apply? So that's probably would be step one. Beyond that, I don't know. That's a tough question. Does anybody else have any suggestions?
I was thinking that when Mark asked that question, I was thinking that maybe the natural laws that you are aware of, you kind of bunch them on your own with what type of personality they would person would be drawn to. So, like, say one of the natural laws, I'm trying to think of one, but if you just put them in the 4 different personalities realm, and so when you're dealing with an analytical, you bring that natural law up, I think that might help.
Wow,
that's never
great.
Rosanna, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. And, I'm just going to jump in here. For those of you that want to find out about the natural laws, you can go online. The free resource is available to you right now. It's DNAforlife-laws.com. Again, DNAforlife-laws.com. And you can go there. When you look at when you look at the website, you're going to see a big banner that says Natural Laws just below a picture in the middle. And if you click on that, you're going to see the natural laws. And I think it's a great suggestion, Rosanna, to go in and start reading some of those natural laws and seeing, watch the videos for the ones that we have videos on, and start really figuring out, based on what Cheryl said about the personalities and what Rosanna said about the DNA for business, and you can now start incorporating your own ideas with, rather incorporating the natural laws into your own experiences, and that's going to be a big help. Again, DNAforlife-laws.com. It's going to be a tremendous resource for you. Well, thank you to all of our speakers, to Cheryl, to Rosanna, to Patrick here. We're moving into a time now where we're going to have question and answers. I mean, so much has happened right now. I'm expecting that we're going to have a few questions here, so let's open it up. Does anyone have any questions? It's on the call or online about any of the segments.
Well, I was curious, is my presentation about the personalities, was I off a little bit? Did I stretch it a little bit? So I'm just curious.
No, I think there was a lot of good information in that. It's a lot of good content here, Cheryl. And I think if people want to go back and watch the video, they're going to get even more out of it. They can take notes. They can actually start implementing it right away. That's the great thing about anything that we do. For those of you that are online with us, that are all part of what we're doing today, you know, the great thing is you don't have to wait to implement any of these things. You can implement them right now, today, immediately, and it will make a change, make a huge difference in your life in execution. Any other questions?
Cheryl, I think on one of the things, maybe on just defining it, if you look at, you know, the golden triangle, box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the cornerstone of the 530 grid. If you look at box 5, which is going to be implementing a strategic strike, then if you look at box 14, which is personality driven. And so as you get deeper into the levels in the 530 grid, you start to apply them at a much higher level, much higher dimension, it's a higher way of thinking. And so you might have literally 4 strategic strikes. So you might have, you know, one for the analytic, one for the driver, one for the expressive, and one for the amiable. And so it's a strategic strike, but it's based on personalities. So what you're doing is you're blending the different 30 boxes, bringing them all together in a very systematic way. Now, if we don't have one strategic strike, probably not the best idea to develop, you know, 4 of them or 5 of them. And so the most effective program I've seen in demoing this and really showing this is if you go to DNAforsuccess.com. It's DNAforsuccess.com. And then you go down to the bottom and click on the feet. And so this actually breaks it down into, takes the 3 steps and moves it into 7. And then you can click on every one of the steps. And so it goes from examination to strategy session. And then there's actually each of the 4 personalities. So each of the 4 personalities will move from one step to the next step in a very specific way. And so when somebody goes to any one of these, they're going to naturally go towards the shape or the photo even of the person that the personality is, and they'll click on that. So if they're an expressive, they'll probably click on Fitz's, you know, his story here. And when he shares his story, he shares it in an expressive manner. And that will move people from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. So it's really, Cheryl, almost cloning your sales force that can take decades in learning how to do this. And the system can do that, you know, on your behalf, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Any other questions?
Oh, I do. So And using the personalities to be able to convert prospects faster. When you go through the GT, the first 3 areas, marketing, pre-sales, and sales, to be able to convert your prospects faster and more efficient, is there a personality that should be associated with each department to help move that flow and help be more efficient and be able to convert them faster?
Great question. The most efficient way to move things through in the most efficient and fastest and most effective is actually it's taking all 4 personalities. So what's interesting is the amiable and the analytic, which you'd think, well, they're not going to be moving fast and moving people forward. And there's some truth to that. But with other analytic and amiable, so it seems like the amiable will spend more time with somebody, and it seems like they're not going to convert it, but because they have a higher relationship, a better relationship, they'll convert a lead faster than a level 1, 3, and 4. The analytic's going to take a lot more time in the pre-sales. Both the amiable and the analytic will spend more time in the pre-sales, which seems to slow it down, but will actually speed it up. So in answer to your question, it's blending all 4 of these together, as Rosanna said, like a symphony. That's where you're going to get your greatest speed in converting prospects to clients much, much faster, Nicole.
Okay, so then just, I'm analytic, so I'm getting a little deeper. But to map it out, if we were to say, to start out with marketing, would it make sense for them to have a nice piece of all 4 of the personalities? Pre-sales would probably be the analytic, the amiable, and then the sale would be like a driver expressive?
No. You're going to need to have all 4 personalities in marketing, all 4 personalities in pre-sales, and all 4 personalities in the sale, and in servicing, and in client for life. So you need to have all 4 of them. You can't just have, because in marketing, you have to appeal to all 4 personalities. You can't just appeal to one. So if you have an expressive in marketing, that'll be cool, exciting, creative, and draw people in, but it'll probably draw more expressives in. So you need to blend all of them. It's not a linear process, and it's not easy. I mean, it's why the more you know about the BOSS system and the blending of the 3, the more you know you don't know, which is why you really want to get individuals, like put together a success circle of 12. Be coached by somebody that's certified in the Action Vision system and being able to go through and understand it. This stuff, individuals invest decades and thousands of hours in really perfecting this, and you want to work with those types of individuals.
Okay.
Excellent. Are there any other any questions? We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
I have a question for Mark. Okay, so I've been through a couple of these seminars, and maybe other people online have been through these seminars, and they say, I've heard all this before. What do you suggest to these people that have said that or even thought that in their mind?
Yeah. Read the Clear Communication white paper. So go to www.dna4life-laws, and then go to cool free stuff and white paper library. And then look for the Clear Communication right here, white paper, and then read it. Because they're not listening well, Rosanna. And so I've spent 3 decades studying this stuff. I've been through the 4 years that we've been through this. I've listened to this, written extensively on it, taught, spoken all around the world. And every time I go through this, I hear something different. So if people are saying, I've heard this all before, I understand this, they're not very good students. And so
maybe you're saying also that maybe they've heard it all before, but have they actually done it.
Well, they haven't heard it. They're just not good listeners. Like they think I've heard all this before, and it's like, yeah, no, you haven't heard it before. They need to learn to be better listeners. They need to be humble. They need to understand that they're missing key components, key details that's holding them back. If you go to DNA for Success, DNA for Laws, life-laws.com/SC12, and then becoming an amazing member, there are 5 white papers and then an ebook on how to be the best student in the world. I believe if a team of people will read those 4 white papers, and they're 3 to 5 pages long, and then that ebook on how to be the best student in the world, which is I think roughly 50 pages, if they go through and read those 5 white papers and that ebook, I believe that not only will all of their minds think differently, but I believe they'll come into alignment and they will accomplish 100,000 times more together than what they ever could on their own, because they'll learn to think, have the ability to think like other people think, and appreciate the differences in how we all tend to think, and bring those together for our mutual benefit.
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
Excellent. Mark, thank you so much for that. It's wonderful. Well, our time is just about up, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that next month is going to be, if you thought this month was amazing, and it was amazing, and it continues to be amazing, next month is going to be even better. I know, right? I mean, how is that possible? It is possible. Why? Because we together are accomplishing far more than we ever could on our own. We're doing it together. We're doing it in the same time. And we're not taking any more time, but we're multiplying our time. And that's absolutely critical that each and every one of us get that and can execute on that. So this week, this month, was about converting prospects faster. Next month, once we have an understanding of what it is to take prospects, converting them faster, then we can move into generating a large quantity of referrals. And if you could think about this, just think about this for next month. Between now and then, imagine going faster and converting a large quantity of referrals. Your business will not only explode, it'll double, it could triple, it could quadruple, it could go 100-fold. If that's what you're looking for, then go back and watch the videos and then come back and join us next month, as it's going to be the 3rd Thursday of next month. It's always the 3rd Thursday, and we start at 10:30 Central right here on this channel. So we want you to join us next month. We need you to invite other people that you know that can really benefit. Maybe it's a client, maybe it's a best friend, maybe it's somebody that you know that is having a struggle with time. But all these things can help them immeasurably. We also have a lot of resources that we want to let you know about. You can stay here at mastermind-seminars.org. Once you've seen the full fourfold that we have that is on the screen, right below it is Pay It Forward. Nobody gets paid to do this, but what we do is that we take our time and we generate opportunities where we create massive value for other people. We do it collectively. And you know what? It does take money to run this, but what we do is we pay it forward. And in order to get all the information you've had today, I want you to go to Pay It Forward. Maybe it's $5 a month. Maybe it's $5 a week. Maybe it's more than that. Whatever you can afford, pay. Why? Because you know what? The people that help us with this are at-risk kids and also single parents, single moms. And you know, to be able to give back is huge, and we believe in paying it forward absolutely. So please go there, take a short survey. There's handouts for the event, and then there's another resource I want you to be aware of, and the video that you're seeing today is courtesy of the MVP Network. And again, you can go to themvpnetwork.org, again, themvpnetwork.org, and you're going to see the projects that they've done. You'll see a lot of website examples, and you'll also see some tremendous videos that will absolutely change your life if you take a look at them and actually implement them. So that's all for me today. I want to thank all of our presenters today. I want to thank Cheryl Negoff. I want to thank Rosanna Boersma. I want to thank Patrick. I want to thank everybody that contributed, Nicole, Jennifer, Cheryl, Carly, Mark. Really appreciate you all doing what you've done and do it so well. You guys have a fantastic day, and God bless. We'll see you next month.
Wow. So what did you think? Did you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose? A lot of information in a very short period of time. We get it. Don't worry if you don't pick it all up the first time, because each month you'll come back, you'll pick up more and more each and every month. The more we pick up and apply, the more money we'll earn as a result of attending this event, and the more time we'll have, the less stress we'll have, and the greater life balance we'll have in every area of life we value. Often people ask, what's next? Great question. Did you register yet that you attended? If not, do that immediately at www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. And we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. There are some amazing follow-up resources that we will get over. There is no charge for any of these resources. Okay, so you've registered. Now what? If you haven't already done your complimentary 30-minute gift coaching session, then that is the place to start. Go to www.dnaforsuccess.com. Go to the top drop-down, examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Click on that. It will literally take you 3 minutes to complete that, and then someone from Legacy Partners and Mastermind Seminars will call you and give you your 30-minute strategy session. Again, there's no cost. It's a gift from every one of us to you. Go into that 30-minute strategy session expecting that your business and life will be changed forever, because it has so for so many people. Again, go to www.dnaforsuccess.com, go to the top drop-down examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Once you complete that, there are so many different possible solutions to assist you in overcoming the biggest challenge you're currently facing, and how to help you develop your very own BOS, the engine which runs your business. There are weekly live mastermind calls, coffee connections you can attend at no cost. There are online courses, group coaching, media solutions, and even one-on-one coaching which can be provided to you depending on your specific needs and overall goals. Please do not leave today without committing to meeting with at least 2 other people, either over coffee or over the phone, at a minimum once a week, to follow through on all the amazing information, ideas, tools, systems, and great people, both locally and then around the world, through Mastermind Seminars and Legacy Partners. One side note, because there is no charge to attend, participate, and gain massive benefit from Mastermind Seminars, individuals often wonder, how do these amazing events are funded? Well, they are actually funded by generous individuals just like you who give financially weekly through Coffee Connection contributions or monthly through Mastermind Seminars. Your generous contribution to Life Masteries Institute, which is an IRS-approved 501c3 nonprofit organization, not only enables the events, tools, and networks to be developed and given to you and others, but also a portion of your gift goes to many great causes. When we give generously in a financial way, we gain financially as well. No gift is too small. Even giving $5 a week or even a month will make a big difference. To give, go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-forward. Here is what others have found. In just getting started with my company, I didn't feel I could give anything. Even $5 a month was a sacrifice. I decided to do that, and as soon as I started to give financially, I became more focused on turning what I was learning into financial gain for me personally, and it worked. I'm now contributing a little more and will continue to increase my giving as my business and income grows. Adam, a new entrepreneur. We have given over $45,000 because we know it's the right thing to do. Yes, we do give of our personal and company resources, time and talents, but we also know how important it is to give financially as well. We have found that when we give financially, we become more focused on turning our involvement into sales and financial success. It seems that those who do not give financially, they often do not gain financial benefit. The entire Mastermind seminar experience has done more for building a successful culture through our entire company than hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants, seminars, and workshops. We've accomplished more in a couple of years than the 20 plus years prior. Any individual, any company, any organization which does buy in and get their entire company involved is, how do I best say it, missing out on a chance of a lifetime. Alan Stein and Nancy Virts, owners, www.tanglewoodconservatories.com. I give financially weekly, and my business has more than doubled. Ginger Ann Collins, owner EVA, executive virtual assistant, and executive coach. www.dnaforsuccess.com/implementation/E-VAS. The more I give financially, the more I receive financially. Ann Wayman, Dream Giver, Ghostwriter, www.annwayman.com. I was looking for additional income streams, and by giving financially, it's opened so many doors for me. So many opportunities become available when we are financially generous. Ed Noel, mortgage professional, owner, leadership, and team building coach. It was really tough for us to give anything, as we had invested so much into our business. But we decided to start out with $25 a month. We didn't think of it as a very big gift, but the truth is, it was a lot for us when we started. And the doors that financial gift has opened for us are huge. We will be giving a portion of what we generate in our business back to Life Masteries Institute and pay it forward to help others around the world gain financial freedom. Steve and Avalinda Casey, owner, real estate investing, speaker, and author. Being a part of Mastermind seminars over the last 3 years has changed the way I think about every area of life. When we give financially, we not only support what is given to us, but we assist others in our community and around the world. Be generous. Kevin King, helping people save money on health insurance. My business has benefited so much from the Mastermind seminars and coffee connections. It's the right thing to give back weekly financially. Jonathan Sparrow, owner, web technology, www.themvpnetwork.org. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas from today, please connect with the individual who invited you to attend or your MC, host, or you can even call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300, or the U.S. base number is 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish far more together than we ever could on our own. So think of 3 other individuals you believe would benefit from what we shared and invite them to your Mastermind conference call, coffee connection, and next month's Mastermind seminar event. Have an amazing day and life.